Good afternoon, students. So, morning we discussed about synchronized method. So, next we have synchronized block, and last one is static synchronization. And we have one more concept that is deadlock. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, okay, thank you. Okay, first one synchronized block. So, that is similar to synchronized method. So, if you are using a method, synchronized method, we can lock a resource at the particular time period. So while it is executing the task means, so until it completes its task, the particular method is locked. That is the first concept. So next we have a synchronized block. So if you want to block a particular code, we go for a synchronized block. So both are same. So here we are using synchronized block concept. So example, here we have class counter. So increment the count value. So here we have function increment, and inside the function synchronized block. So the synchronized block is block the particular line of code, so until the thread completes its execution. That is the concept here. To this. So this keyword it is used to log the particular line of code which is inside the synchronized block. Okay, that's the concept. So and we have main method class synchronized block. Inside we have two threads, that is and thread T2. So same functions we have functions. So what the task have to perform that can be represented inside our run method. So from again we are calling increment function. So public. So we have point I equal I less than or equal to 1000 I plus plus. So I want to increment up to 1000. So again increment from 1000 to 2000. So first I'm going to start the thread, that is thread 1. So thread 1 it starts its execution. So again it implicitly call the run method which is present inside our thread T1 class. Okay, this T1 dot
Hold on in the session. Ma'am will be joining shortly. There will be a technical glitch.
Sir will join soon, sir.
Okay, so this is on synchronized block concept. So if you have a particular line of code, so we can block using synchronized keyword. So if the thread T1 can access the particular block means no other thread can interfere with the particular block. So once the thread T1 it completes its task, again T2 it start executing the process. So for that only here we are declaring this command. So see class counter. So inside counter class we have public void increment method. Inside we have this keyword. So that represents particular movement of time. That is once thread completes its task until it blocks this resource. No other thread can enter into the particular block. That is the concept. Okay. So again first here we have a statement T1.startup. So the thread it implicitly called the run method which is present inside the thread T1. So it called the run method. So instead we have a increment method, that is c.increment. So C it is an object for the class counter. So this increment method it calls the method increment which is present in the counter class. And here we have a synchronized block. So once the thread T1 it starts its execution, this block is logged until it completes its task. That is the concept of synchronized block. Okay. So once T1 it completes its task, again T2 start executing the task. Okay. So I will show the demonstration. This is an example for synchronized block. So class name is synchronized block. We'll check this. Okay, our count value is 2000. Okay, here there is no data inconsistency and no thread interferences because here we are using the concept synchronization. Okay, that is the next concept. So next we have static synchronization. So same procedure. So here we are declaring the method as static synchronized. So if you are declaring the keyword static and followed by synchronized keyword means that comes under the concept of static synchronization. Here, the previous example, if you lock the particular resource means the lock will be on the particular object. Example, see the previous example. Here we have object T1, object T2. So if you are performing synchronized object, that is synchronized method or a synchronized block means that particular lock on the particular object. Okay, object T1 it lock the particular resources. But in static synchronization, if you are using synchronization class means the lock will be on the particular class, not for the particular object. So the total class will be logged for the particular duration of time until thread it completes its executions. Once it completes its execution, it releases the resource. That is the difference between previous method and this method. Okay, so previous method, the lock is on the particular object. Okay, here the total class is logged by the static synchronization method. So see the program. So here same, we have a class counter. So and we have a main class, that is synchronization demo. So inside we have thread function, that is thread T1 and thread T2. So and one more concept in static synchronization is no need to create object for the particular class. This is a class counter. So previous example, we must create object for the counter class. Through the object only we can access the counter class, isn't it? We have to create object for counter C equal to new counter of and C dot increment. In this way we can access the function. I will show the previous example. Okay, see this previous example. Here we need to create object for the counter class, counter C equal to new counter of. And through this object C, I can call the increment method, that is C dot increment. But if you are using static means no need to create object for the particular class. That is an basic definition already discussed from lot of the topics. I learned from lot of the topics. So same here. Here we have a thread T1 and we have thread T2. So no need to create object for the class counter. We can directly access the counter class through the name, that is counter dot increment of 1000. Okay, so see the thread T2 method, counter dot increment of 1000. So initially we have a function T1 dot start of. So this T1 dot start, it implicitly called which function? Run function, which is present inside the thread T1. So inside the thread T1 we have a run method, public void run. So inside we have a function increment, that is counter dot increment of 1000. So from this statement itself I am passing value for the variable n. Okay, so counter dot increment of 1000, this 1000 it is assigned to this variable n. Okay, so again this variable is assigned to this variable n. So for I equals 0, I less than n, I plus plus. So up to 1000 it increment the value and it perform count operation. Okay, so again once the thread T1 it completes its execution, again T2 it start executing the process. So previously we have a count value was 1000. So again thread T2 it start executing the process. So this thread T2 it call the function run function, which is present inside the thread class, that is thread T2. Okay, so again we have a function that is counter dot increment of. So again it call the method which is present inside the counter class. So that is counter dot increment of 1000 means this 1000 it is assigned to the variable n. So already we have count 1000. Again from 1001 to 2000 it increment the value. Okay, so that is static synchronization. So we have to declare method as synchronized static void increment. Okay, this is a static synchronization method. So if you are declaring static synchronization concept means here the lock is on the particular class. So thread T1 it log the class counter. So once thread T1 it completes its task, again thread T2 it start executing the process. And one more thing here is no need to create object for the counter class. Directly we can access counter dot increment of. Through this statement we can access the counter class. Okay, so but previous example we need to create object for the counter class, that is counter C equal to new counter of. Again we have to give the statement C dot increment. So then only we can access the counter class. But static synchronization no need to create object for the counter class. Directly we can access counter dot increment of 1000. Okay, so this 1000 is assigned to this n variable. Again it perform count operation. Again T2 it start executing the process. Again we have to increment count from 1001 to 2000. So once it completes all it execution, it print the output. So we will. This is an example for static synchronization. So only the difference is the keyword is synchronized static void increment. So if you are using synchronized method means synchronized void increment. Okay, so if you are using synchronized block means, so inside we have to declare synchronize this off. So that is a synchronized block. So if you want to block a particular line of code, if you want to lock a particular line of code, you have to use a synchronized block. So this is an example for static synchronization. So here we need to declare one more keyword, that is static, synchronized static. That is a difference, and no need to create a for the particular class. So we'll execute this program. So our class name is synchronized static. Here the output is count 1000 and count 2000. So first T1, it completes its task again. The count value is 1000. So it print the count value is 1000. Again T2, it start execution. So T2, it perform operations and display the count as 2000. Why? Because here I am declaring the system.out.println inside the class counter. So that's why it display the result in 2 times. That is count 1000 and count 2000. Count 1000 means thread T1, it completes its task until the reaches to 1000. So that's why it display equal to 1000. So again T2, it start executing the process. Again the count value reaches to 2000. That's why it shows the count 1000 and count 2000. Okay. So here I am declaring the system.out.println inside our counter class, also inside our increment method. Okay. So once the for loop complete, it print the output. So again T2, it start execution. Once the for loop complete, print the output. That's equal to 1000, count equal to 2000. So these are the different types of synchronization method. So first we discussed synchronized method and synchronized block. This is on static synchronization. So next we have a major concept, that is deadlock. So what does this deadlock means? See the diagram. So here we have resource R1 and we have resource R2. Okay, we have two resources. So if process 1 wants to complete its task means it need the resource R1, that is resource 1, and also it need the resource 2. If process 1 wants to complete the task, it need two resources, that is resource 1 and resource 2. In the same way, here we have process 2. So if process 2 perform the task means they also need two resources, that is resource 1 and resource 2. So see the image. First we have a resource 1 and we have process 1. So this resource 1, it is assigned to process 1. Okay, and it is assigned to process 2. Resource that is assigned to process 1, resource 2 that is assigned to process 2. Okay, the process 1, it's wait for the resource 2. So consider I am process 1, I have resource 1, waiting for resource 2 to complete my task. Okay, but process already for resource 2. Resource I mentioned. That is process 1. Process wait for this resource 2. Say process 4 2 and process 2 for the resource. Okay, so here needs to data because waiting for another resource, but that is occupied by some other person for my resource.
Shamli ma'am, your voice is breaking. Shamli ma'am, your voice is breaking. It's not audible.
Ma'am, am I audible?
Yes ma'am.
Invisible dot.
We can start பண்ணுங்க.
ஷேர்ல தான் இருக்கு மேம்.
Okay, voice
Is that
on.
visible?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So
Okay.
we have and resource 2. Process 1 already have resource 1. So on this process 1 that is waiting for the resource that is resource 2. Okay. So and also we have one more process that is process 2. The process 2 already have resource 2 but it wait for resource 1. So here the both process it does not release the resource to other process. So what happened? Both the process hold some resources and still waiting for other process to release the resource. That leads to deadlock situation. Okay. So here we have two process. So first process it contain resource 1 and second process it contain resource 2. And the first process it waiting for the whole process. But that resource 1 is held by process 1. So here the both process does not release the resources. It hold their resource. So what the situation leads to means, okay, so see the example. So here we have class test deadlog. Okay, so inside we have two resources, resource 1 and resource 2. Resource 1 Ratan and resource 2 is Vimal. Okay, so we have two thread class, that is thread T1 and thread T2. So what I am doing here is, first I am going to start the thread T1. So T1 dot start. So first T1 dot start means what the function will do? It implicitly call the run method which is present inside the thread class. Inside the thread class we have a run method. So inside we have a synchronized resource 1. So synchronized resource 1 means the thread T1, it logged the resource 1. Okay. So and inside we have a statement system.out.print thread 1 colon logged resource 1. Okay. So thread T1, it logged the resources. But while the meantime, thread T2 also starts its execution. Okay. So here T1, it hold the resource R1. So and it trying to hold the next resources, that is resource 2. So before that, what the thread T2 will do means it starts executing the process and it log the resource 2. Okay. See here we have two threads, that is thread 1 and this is thread 2 function. So T1 dot start means, so it called the run method which is present inside the thread T1 class. So isn't it? So inside we have synchronized resource 1. So it logged the resource 1. Okay. So and inside we have a function system.out.println. So that is printed. So while meantime, thread T2 also start executing the process. So it start executing this process. This is a method which is present inside the thread T2 class. So inside the run method we have synchronized resource 2. So this thread T1, before accessing the resource 2, thread T2, it logged the resource 2. Okay. So inside we have thread 2 logged resource. So I print the statement thread 2 logged resource 2. So again thread T1 wants to access the resource 2, no? So it trying to access the resource 2, but the resource 2 was already logged by thread T2. So this is leave deadlock situation. So again we have thread T2 dot start. So this T2 dot start going to access the resource 1. So but the resource already held by T1 thread, because this T1 logged the resource R1 and waiting for resource R2. So before T1 accessing resource 2, T2 access the resource, that is T2 block the resource. So here thread T1, it waits for the resource R2 and here T2, it waits for the resource R1. Okay. So this leads to deadlock situation. Once again, I am explaining the same concept. Here we have two resources, resource 1, consider resource 1 and resource 2. Okay. We have two threads. Inside we have run method. Inside we have synchronized resource 1 and synchronized resource 2. Okay, we have two resources, and in the same way, thread T2 we have two resources, synchronized resource 2 and synchronized resource 1. Okay, so first T1 starts executing the process, so it called the run method. So again it logged the resource R1. Synchronize means the object logged the particular resource. Okay, so it logged the resource R1. So and it execute the task logged resource. Okay, so meantime T2 also starts executing the process. Okay, so T2 it logged the resource 2. Okay, so and once the thread T1 completes this task, again it moves to the next synchronized block, that is synchronized resource 2. But this resource 2 is already logged by thread T2. So this leads to deadlock situation. So how to overcome this deadlock situation? I will show example program. Okay. So first one, deadlock problem. This is our deadlock example. Okay. So we have two resources and we have two threads, thread T1 and thread T2. So inside we have synchronized block 2, synchronized block for resource 1 and resource 2. In the same way, thread T2 we have two synchronized block, one synchronized method, synchronized block, one for resource and for resource one. Okay, we'll execute this one. What will happen? But check this. Java C test deadlock.java. So again Java. Okay, see the output thread 1 log resource 1 and see the next thread 2 log resource 2. So again our cursor is blinking here, no. So we cannot see next stage. This leads to deadlock situation. Why? Because the resource R1, that is thread T1, it logged the resource R1. At the meanwhile time, thread T2 also start executing the process, isn't it? So T2 start execution. So first blocker synchronize resource 2. So resource 2 is logged by thread 2. So that's a deadlock problem. So how to overcome this means, so we have one more program. I will show test deadlock problem. So the first block, that is synchronized resource 1, tap synchronized resource 2. Okay, so and instead we have synchronized resource 1 and synchronized resource 2. So previous example, I declare synchronized resource 2 followed synchronized resource 1. That's why it leads to deadlock problem. So here, how the execution will happen? First T1, it starts the execution, isn't it? So first it logs the resource R1. So and it completes its task, and while the meantime, T2 also starts its execution. So once the resource R1 has completed its task, it released the resource. So the resource 1 is released by thread T1. So thread T2, it accesses the resource 1. See here, we have synchronized resource 1 statement. So blocker synchronized resource 1. And the first blocker synchronized. Meanwhile, also start executing its process. So and here we have resource 1 statement. So here resource 1 is logged and released by thread T1. So again thread T2, it logged the resource R1. So and after completing the process, again thread T1 access the resource 2. So it logged resource 2. So again it's complete. That is synchronized resource 2 method. So inside they have a statement thread 2 logged resource 2. This is resource 2. This is resource 1. So in this way we can avoid deadlock situation. So while I'm executing thread T1 process, thread T1 is executing the process. So meanwhile start executing that process. So if both the threads are simultaneously accessing the same resources means that leads to deadlock problem. Okay, so first T1 it starts its execution. So log the resource R1. If I'm declaring the resource 2 in thread 2 class means obviously that leads to some deadlock problem because both the thread 1 and thread 2 wants to access the resource 2. Okay, but if you're declaring the first statement as synchronized resource 1 and second as synchronized resource 2 means in this situation we can avoid deadlock problem. Why? Because thread T1 it completes its task, again it releases the resource R1 and that resources occupied by thread 2. So and thread T1, it hold the resource R2, and after completes its task, it release the resource. Again thread T2, it occupy the resource 2. Okay, so simple change only. So resource 1 and resource 2, and here also resource 1, resource 2. So in this way, if you're declaring means what deadlock situations. If you're declaring the statement resource 1, resource 2, and same in the second thread resource 2, resource 1 means it leads to deadlock situation. Okay, we will show the demonstration. Okay, see the output. First thread 1, it logged resource 1. Again thread 1, it logged resource 2. Okay, so thread 2 logged resource 1, thread 2 logged resource 2. Okay, in this way we can avoid deadlock situation. So that's all about synchronization method. So once again, I will explain those things. First one, synchronization. So what does synchronization means? If you want to, we have n number of process, we have some shared resources. So if you want to access, you need to go for a concept synchronization. Otherwise, so while thread 1 executing the process means at the same time thread 2 also access the shared resources means that leads to some inconsistency problem, data inconsistency. Okay, see the example here. We have process 1. Process 1 wants to access the shared data. So at the same time process 2 wants to write this region means obviously some data inconsistency problem will occur. This process 1, it reads some inconsistent data. So before reading the data, process P2 going to write something means this leads to some inconsistent problem. So we have a various methods to prevent this problem. So here we are using two major concepts. First one is mutual exclusion and second one is on lock concept. So based on time, they are the resources. So and we have three methods in mutual exclusion. First method, synchronize. Now do that thread T1 and thread T2. So T1 want to access the shared resource log particular resource until it completes its execution. That is log. Again, T1 once completes its task, it releases the resource to the next step. That is the constant log. Okay, so first we have a method that is a synchronized method. So what does the synchronized method means? If you declare a method synchronized, then the program leads to the concept synchronized method. Okay, so here the synchronized method, it is used to log the particular object. Okay, so once it completes its task, again it releases the log. So again that particular resources held by some other thread. That concept of using method. So if you have some data, so if I am accessing the particular data, no one can interfere with the particular region. That is the main concept here. So once I complete my task, completes its task, I release the resource. So after that only next process or next can enter a particular region, we can access data. So for that only the synchronization concept. So synchronized method. So we need to declare the method as synchronized method. That is public synchronized void. Okay. So here we have a class counter and we have one more class, that is synchronization demo. So this thread, it is a class which is present in Java. So inside the thread we run method, that is an existing method. So if you want to declare an user defined runtime method means, so we need to follow the same scope, same procedure to represent a run method. So for that only we are declaring the statement public void run. So whatever the statements we are going to perform, whatever the operation we are going to perform, that can be represented inside the run method. Okay, so again from the run method, I am going to call the run method as synchronized void run. It violates the rule. So for that only, I'm going to create a separate class for counter, and inside the counter, I'm using synchronized method and I am performing count operation. Okay, so that public synchronized void increment, that is a procedure to represent a synchronized method. Here we have two methods. T1, it starts its execution. So until it completes its task, all the other remaining threads must wait. That is the concept of synchronization. Thread T1, it completes its task, again T2 starts the process. Okay, so next we have synchronized block. So this is similar to synchronized method only. So if you want to block or lock a particular amount of coding, then we go for a synchronized block. Particular line of codes. If you want to block 100 line of code, we can give the particular lines to inside the synchronized block. Okay, that is also similar to the method only. So see the example. So same principle. So change method name is public void increment. No need to give one public void synchronized void. No need to give like this. Okay. So and inside this increment method, I am going to use a synchronized of concept. That is synchronize this. Okay. I am going to log the particular block. That's why I am declaring the keyword this here. Synchronize this. I am going to block or log the block. Okay. That's enough to represent a synchronized block. It starts its execution, so it logs the particular resource. Once it completes its count operation, it releases the block. Again T2 enter into the particular block, again it completes its execution. Okay. So next we have a static synchronization. So the previous two examples, particular object, here the lock is on the particular whole class. Okay, so here we need to declare a keyword static. Okay, in addition to that, we have to declare synchronized static void increment. Okay, so we cannot change the run method. That's why we are creating a separate class for counter, and inside a counter we have a synchronized method. Okay, no need to create object for class. So we can access the counter class. Okay, so synchronized static void increment integer n. Why I am declaring integer n here means I am passing parameter from the main method, that is run method. So counter dot increment. This 1000 is assigned to the variable. So again command operations and it display the again also thread T2, it starts its execution, it perform the operation and it print the output. Okay, so that is static synchronization. So next we have a deadlock problem. So deadlock means, so process P1 wants two resources that are two, but already process P1 have resource R1, but resource R2 it is held by some process, that is process 2. So here the both process 1 and process 2 waiting for some resources, but they're waiting for some resources that is held by some other process. That leads to deadlock problem. Okay, so here we have two resources, resource 1 and resource 2. Resource 1 is assigned for process 1 only, but it wait for the resource 2. If both the resources available means, then process 1 can perform the task. Okay, but it contain only one resource. It waiting for the second resource. But the second resource is already allocated to process 2. And this process 2, it wait for the resource 1. Here both the process does not release any resources. Still it hold their resources. So in this situation, it leads to deadlock problem. If process 1 release the resource 1 means process P2 can complete its task. But they are not ready to release the resource. Both the process held the resources. This leads to deadlock problem. Okay. So this is an example for deadlock situation. So here we have a statement, synchronized resource 1 and synchronized resource 2. First T1 starts executing the process. So first it completes its task. So it completes its task and meanwhile time T2 also start executing the process. So it moves thread class and it log the resource. So once thread 1 is completes its task, again it moves to the synchronized block, next time block. That is resource 2. But the resource 2 was already held by thread 2. Okay, so thread 2, it does not release the resource to thread 1. So this deadlock situation. Okay, about this session, have any doubt? Please post your doubts. Any doubt? No doubt means you can leave the session. Thank you.